Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks with me, Antonow too. And today it's time again for a big review, and today we're talking about one of the big tanks as well. It's the IS-7, and this is the tier 10, or this is actually one of the two tier 10 Russian heavy tanks. If we looked at in the tech tree, there's the IS-7 line. You go through the IS, the IS-3, the IS-8, and you get the IS-7. And there's the IS-4 line, in which you go through the KV-3, KV-4, STI, and IS-4. They both split up at tier 5, after tier 5, so you can either get the T150 or the KV-1S. And if you choose the KV-1S, you will get the IS-7. Before we get stuck into reviewing it, just one thing I want to point out for some of you subscribers that have missed out on my last two videos and are wondering why I've suddenly got an IS-7 in my garage. One of my subscribers, General Denny, has allowed me access to his account for a few days so that I can review all his goodies here, starting off with the Yak Tiger and the Type 59. I did those in the last 3 days, and yeah, today it's a turn of the IS-7, and maybe tomorrow the T32 review's coming up. However, I don't think I'll review this tank, although I really like it. Just out of a simple reason, because I've already got the tier 6 tank in this line, and I'll soon have this body here anyway. So I think I'll review it on my own account. So I'll maybe do it, but I don't think I will. But anyway, today it's about the IS-7, and the IS-7 is a very, very interesting tank, I think. And well, if you look at the tech tree, the kind of deal is that you've got this heavy tank line up here, which is made up out of more lightly armored. Well, they've still got decent armor, but they kind of haven't got as strong armor as the lower line, but therefore they are faster. And then you've got the lower line, which is slower and more heavily armored. And that's definitely true till you get to tier 9. It's true with the T150, KV-3, KV-4. It's definitely true with the STI. But then you get to tier 10, and I'm just going to quickly compare the armor stats of the IS-4 and the IS-7. Well, first of all, the speed is definitely slower of the IS-4. The IS-4 has got 43 kph. The IS-7 just short of 60 kph. However, it will never really reach the speed going on a flat ground. You'll be usually cruising at about 40 kph, while with the IS-4 you're cruising at about 30 kph. The traverse speed is better on the IS-7, the turret traverse speed as well, so obviously the IS-7 is the more mobile, quicker tank. However, if you look at the armor stats, 150 at the front of the IS-7, 140 at the front of the hull in the IS-4. And look at the sloping difference. Now, I'm really sorry that I haven't got an IS-4 to show you just right now. I've got an IS-4 on my own account. However, I haven't got, General Denny hasn't got one obviously, so can't show you an IS-4. But just here you can kind of see the armor a bit. And it is sloped, but it isn't sloped as well as the armor of the IS-7. The IS-7's got this kind of pike nose armor, and it's really, really tough to penetrate from the front. So that's 150 millimeters of armor at the front. Then you've got 160 and 150 at the sides. So okay, the IS-4 is has got more side armor, and then you've got 100 on the rear with both of them. At the turret, you've got 230 at the front of the IS-7 and 250 at the front of the IS-4. They're both angled very, very well. So, well, 240 just as well could be 250. It doesn't make a difference. You know, everything will ricochet from the front of the turret of both of these tanks. Then the side armor of the IS-7's turret is 185 to 200, but still, the chance of penetrations are about the same because the IS-7's turret is angled more. At least the side of it is angled more than the IS-4's turret side. And then the rear, you've got 94 with the IS-7 and 170 with the IS-4. So if you think of it, strictly speaking, the rear of the turret is actually the only place where the IS-4 has got more armor than the IS-7. However, the IS-7 moves quicker. So yeah, a lot of people make the point that the IS-7 is better than the IS-4. I personally like the IS-4 more. I'm not going to say that's a better tank because I'm not quite sure, but I like it more. It suits my style of gameplay more. Although I like the IS-7 too, but I like the IS-4 more. But you know, that's my opinion, and I'm not saying that the IS-4 is a better tank, I'm just saying that I like it more. I'm not going to go all that much into the detail of comparing the IS-7 to the IS-4 right now. If you want to do that, you can watch my IS-4 review, because I compare the two tanks very, very detailed there. I go through every single stat. I won't do that right now. However, we can just quickly go through the stats of the IS-7. We've got, it's got quite few hit points. It's the tier 10 tank with the second least hit points, I believe, coming after the AMX-50B with 2,150. So you haven't got all that a big hit point pool. I believe that even the Yak Panzer E100, which is a tank destroyer, has got more hit points than this. However, you're pretty heavy. 70.95 tons is quite a lot. And you've got a pretty powerful engine. Well, it's not like the power to weight ratio. Let's see if we get the power to weight ratio. No, we don't. Okay, that's something that really gets my nerves. Sometimes you get a power to weight ratio, sometimes you don't. Today we don't. So I'm not going to work this out now, but it's kind of good as heavy tanks go. Of course, it's nothing like French, but it's still kind of decent. This would be something like 11 or 12, a power to weight ratio of 11 or 12. And it gets fairly speedy. However, as I said, you'll never be cruising at this speed. You'll only be ever reach the speed going downhill. The traverse speed is alright for a heavy tank, and yeah, we already talked through the armor. An interesting thing about the IS-4 7's frontal armor is that there isn't a single weak spot, really. If you look at it from the front, you find a lot of people who don't know where to shoot an IS-7 from the front. If you can, like for example, if he's coming over a slope or so on, and he's just climbing the slope and just poking his nose over, and that will be decreasing the angle of this lower glacis. Go for the lower glacis. However, the lower glacis can be very, very bouncy, and it isn't a reliable penetration zone. One interesting fact about the lower glaciers is that down here, if you hit the lower glacier exactly here, your driver will be knocked out. And that can get really on your nerves when you're driving an IS-4, because your driver gets knocked out in, not an IS-4, an IS-7 I mean. Your driver can be knocked out nearly every game. So be careful when driving an IS-7, your driver will be killed often. If the lower glacis is covered up, the place to shoot is right here on the cheeks of the armor. Not here, not here, not anywhere in the middle. You want to shoot him right on the outer rim, because the angle is less there than anywhere else. It's still pretty bouncy, but the chance of ricochet is less than anywhere else. So if the lower glacis is covered up or at a steep angle, you want to shoot here and here. If you're in a close combat situation with IS-7 and you can't get your hull down to you can't get your gun down to point at the upper glacis, you want to be shooting at this hatch here. And although it's a very difficult target, if you hit it, you will penetrate probably. So that's a good place to be shooting an IS-7. However, yeah, the IS-7, if it gets close up, it's extremely difficult to kill, because hitting this little hatch here is very, very difficult, especially if you're sitting in something like an E100, which has got really bad accuracy, or a mouse or whatever. That's going to be really, really difficult to hit. So, yeah, now we're going to quickly have a look at the gun. I want to compare this gun to the gun of the IS-4, although I said that I don't want to do that much comparing, just because it's a very interesting comparison. So, the IS-7's gun, yeah, the IS-7 gets a 130mm gun, while the IS-4 gets a 122mm gun. The rate of fire is a round per minute better on the IS-4's gun. So your reload is about 2 seconds quicker than on the IS-7. Your penetration, you've got 8mm more penetration, which isn't all that much, but it's still there and it still makes a bit of a difference. Well, this penetration here used to be 400mm with gold ammo. Now it's only 340. That's strange. I'm pretty sure that was 400 something before 8.6. If it wasn't, let me know in the comments, but I believe that was 400 something. Anyway, now it's 340, but still it's got more penetration of gold ammo, and that's the kind of a major weak spot of IS-7's gun, the penetration of gold ammo, because it's only 300, it's only 50mm more than without gold ammo, so you don't really get your money's worth out of it. Then the damage, you do an average 50 HP more damage with the IS-7's gun. You realise that's different, it's quite significant actually. You do a lot more, or not a lot more, but you do more alpha damage, definitely, noticeably more alpha damage with the IS-7's gun. The IS-7's gun is quite a lot more inaccurate, 0.4 to 0.38, so they're both inaccurate, but the IS-7's gun is more inaccurate. And the aim time is worse than the IS-7, however, the IS-4's got a crappy aiming time too. So all in all, if you use, well, I personally prefer the gun of the IS-4. However, I know a lot of you guys prefer the IS-7's gun. That's fine. They're both nice guns, and I like them both. I like the IS-7's gun too, and I prefer the IS-4's gun, but this gun's great too. So, let's see, what stats have we got left? We've already had, you've already had the rate of fire and so on. Okay, turret reverse, you already did that. So you get your standard 400 meters view range, nothing special there, and standard 720 meter signal range, so no surprises. Yeah, tactics you should use on the IS-7. If you can, you should try to go hold down, because the turret is amazingly well armored. However, that can be a bit of a problem because your gun depression, while it is alright, isn't amazing. So that can be a bit of a problem. Like, it's just typical Russian lower average gun depression. If you can, you want to cover up your lower glaciers at least, because you don't want to get your driver knocked out 3 times in a row in each battle, and yeah, then, you know, if you're only letting your enemy shoot at this upper part of your tank, that's going to be really tough to penetrate for him. This tank really loves getting up close and, you know, face hugging your enemies. You really want to face hug your enemies because your gun is really inaccurate, so you want to come up close to your enemies so that you can actually hit their weak spots, because the penetration isn't all that amazing on the gun. And if you face hug something like an E100, for example, the E100 driver will have real problems penetrating you, because he won't be able to get his gun down to shoot at your hull, and have to shoot at your really bouncy turret. IS-7s love city maps because the reload is pretty long. It takes about 11 seconds, a bit over 11 seconds to reload the gun. City maps are great because you can pull behind corners to reload. You shouldn't be firing this gun at a range, because it's just horribly inaccurate and you'll definitely miss, and the aim time is really bad too. So you want to come up close, and a great place for this tank to fight are maps like Himmelsdorf, for example, because there are quite a lot of hold down opportunities because of the rubble lying around and so on. So you can easily go hold down and only let your turret peek out without needing a good gun depression, so that's useful. One big advantage that the turret of the IS-7 has got in comparison to the IS-4's turret is that the IS-4's turret, while it is better armoured, has got a massive weak spot up here that you'll probably know from IS-3. There's this kind of hatch up here, and that can be easily penetrated by tanks like an E100 that are higher up. However, the IS-7 hasn't got that weak spot, and this weak spot here is very difficult to penetrate, so the IS-7's turret is very well armoured. If you're driving the IS-7, you have to watch out for RT, because your side and rear armour isn't as good, so as the IS-4s, and even the IS-4's got problems with RT, so you want to kind of go into RT cover during reloads and so on. Again, this tank likes city maps. I also want to tell you that the side armour for tank actually is surprisingly good. I believe that there's spaced armour here, I'm not quite sure, but you get quite a lot of bounces from the side. Even hits going into this part of the hole here will bounce pretty often. And another great thing about the IS-7 is that it's a very, very low profile tank, as you can see. So detecting you when you're not moving and not firing and you're sitting behind a bush can be pretty difficult. Okay, next we'll talk about crew skills. And General Denny obviously went with repairs for all your crew. I would recommend that as well, because repairs is really important on heavy tanks like the IS-7. Brothers in Arms is an awesome skill to a perk to have on this tank especially as well, because the reload is very long and the aiming time and accuracy and all that great too, so Brothers in Arms will help with all that. Then Sixth Sense is amazing. You want to have Sixth Sense. Yeah, I would go with Snapshot and Smooth Ride for gunner and driver, because your aiming time is pretty bad, and I haven't experienced a big problem with ammo racking. However, safe storage is always a good thing to have on any tank really, and with this kind of bad reload time, if you get your ammo rack blown and your reload time doubles, that's a real pain in the neck. So you want to have safe storage. Well, he went with Adrenaline Rush. I wouldn't really recommend that, to be honest, because you've only got 2,150 hit points, and Adrenaline Rush only improves your reload time if your health sinks beneath 10%, and 10% of 2,150 are 215, which you'll nearly never see. You'll nearly never be down to that amount of hit points in a tier 10 game, because most of the guns firing at you will easily do 500 damage, so that's pretty seldom, so I wouldn't really go with Adrenaline Rush. For equipment, you definitely want to have the improved ventilation. You definitely want to have a tank gun rammer. For the third piece of equipment, he went with an enhanced gun lane drive. If I were you, I'd get the vertical stabilizer instead, because the vertical stabilizer gives you 20% more accuracy while on the move and turret rotation, while the enhanced gun lane drive only improves your aiming time. No, only makes your aiming time 10% better. So vertical stabilizer actually is more efficient, because your aiming circle starts off 20% smaller than he does without, and enhanced gun lane drive just, so the effect actually is more with the vertical stabilizer. Yeah, so we're through with the garage. Let's see some gameplay. So our first game is on Ruinberg, and obviously me and my IS-7, the matchmaking is pretty tier 10ish. We've got two E100s in the team, a T57, a Batshot. The enemies also have got two E100s, IS-7 as well, a T110E5, and the fighting vehicle 4202. So the matchup is pretty even, and I'm heading for this kind of heavy street, as I like to call this, because a lot of the heavies go down here. Oh, a KV4 with the rear to us, ninjing the kill. That first kill in the game, although that was, and we didn't really deserve that one, did we? But you know, 3 kills, I always like them. Yeah, so we get a shot right through the turret of a fighting vehicle. That's quite nice. And, you know, the penetration of this gun, while it isn't amazing, it's absolutely sufficient for, you know, the games you get thrown into. Yeah, so the fighting vehicle's trapped, so I'm gonna go for a side armor. But he's killed before we can kill him. So there's a T95. He killed the Ferdinand. He's a very, very tough nut to crack from the front, so we'll have to see how we do this. I'm trying to go hold down this RT hole here, but it didn't work. So I tried to go for low glaciers while firing on the move. Didn't really work out with that T95. So let's see if we can hit those little turrets on his top. But IS-8 shot into our flank. That was really that clever what we did right there. The T59, not 95, tracked us. However, we got a nice shot into his commander's cupola, I think that is. So let's see if we can do that again. Yes, we can. And the damage rolls in this gun here are pretty nice. So I actually believe this is the tier 10 tank gun with the most alpha damage after the tier 10 heavy tank gun with the most alpha damage after the E100s. Let's see, what was that? 150 caliber gun, I think. But this 130mm is, I think, the second heaviest gun in terms of alpha damage of all tier 10 tanks. Heavy tanks. Not, of course, their tank destroyers and RT, they do more damage, but of all tier 10 heavy tanks. Sorry for that, my nose is kind of blocked up a bit. I know it's summer, but you know, summer I've still got a cold. So there's a lone Centurion. Let's see if we can get the kill. No, we can't. I think RT got it. No, we haven't got RT. Let's see who killed him. The Panther 2 did, I think. So we've already got 3 kills. We've got the most kills on the team. So as you can see, we're holding the city. The score's 8-7, but our enemies managed to, conquer the field. So I'm going to try to go round the rear and attack those guys coming down that middle alley there from the rear. So some of my teammates are capping. However, the cap's going to probably be broken by those almost heavy tanks coming down that street in the middle. Actually, the enemy team's only got heavy tanks except for that ISU. Oh, he's coming my way, but I don't think he can penetrate my armor. So we get a nice shot into his front. 470 damage, I think that was. And let's see, I think the Panther 2 is overtime ninjaing my kills. So we go for the rear of the E100. I guess I should really be going for his turret. We track him, that's nice though. So let's see. He obviously didn't use a repair kit, I think. We go for the side of his turret, easily penetrate that. Gain between 400 and 500 damaging hit. So the E100 is going into cover, but we can still hit that IS-3 there. Oh yes, 538 damage, that's very nice. This gun can dish out a lot of alpha damage. So the IS-3 has learned a lesson now too and is retreating behind cover. He's actually playing pretty stupidly, but we can kill him. So we're taking cover behind this truck here. However, I hope that E100 can penetrate me from the front. He can though. So we take a hit there. But I believe now we can kill him with one shot. So I'm going to obviously go for slow glaciers for major weak spot in all German heavy tanks. And we kill him. 5th kill. Oh boy, now there's only the STI left. As you notice, this tank can really shift. It's pretty speedy on flat ground. We're going at 42 kph about now, so it's not like rocket speed or anything, but it's still pretty nice. So there's a Panther 2 and the Bat Shot clustering around that SCI there. The Panther 2 is going to walk out of this game with quite a bunch of experience. Yeah, and the STI is down as well, so he writes ping 500 in the chat, and we won the game, so nice result there. And let's have a look at the after game stats. So remember, this is a standard account, and we walked away from that game with just short of 50,000 credits and 2,228 experience for the first win of the day, so that was doubled. We critted 3 enemies, damaged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and killed 5. So that's a pretty nice result. Somehow we obviously inflicted team damage onto this Panther 2. Maybe we rammed him or something like that, I'm not quite sure, I can't remember. Anyway, in comparison to the team, we were the second best, coming after the Panther 2, who was stealing our kills over time. But, he kind of deserved that. He's doing that well in a tier 10 match, you know, you deserve to get the whole pile of experience for that. But we came second, so yeah. On the enemy team, nobody was really doing all that well. Let's see, but STI was alright, but except for him, bit of a letdown for enemies. Anyway, we fired 15 shots and 15 of them hit, and 14 penetrated. Can't quite remember, but that was the one we fired at the T95, I believe. Yeah, so that's a pretty nice rate. Remember, we were always firing at close range with this tank, and that's what you have to do. You can't shoot this gun at long range. We did just short of 5,000 damage. That's quite a lot, and received 6 hits, of which only 3 penetrated. Obviously, the other 3 ricocheted. We received 2,710 potential damage. Damaged 7 enemies, destroyed 5. Okay, we already talked through that, and travelled 2 kilometers. And actually, we got a profit out of this game. We were left over with 14,000.289 credits, so that's not bad. Yeah, so let's have some more games. So our next game is on Halluf, and again in the IS-7. We're heading for this northern corner of the map, or actually this the top left corner of the map. I'm not gonna start talking like a scout or anything, because I'm not. So actually quite a nice jump there for stunting IS-7. Haha. Yeah, there's a T125 YOLOing around the place in the middle of the map. He won't be YOLOing for long anymore, I bet. And we're here with a STI and a Chaffee. Now that's something that I really hate about the matchmaker, that he keeps throwing tanks like the Chaffee into tier 10 matches. That's really like, well, that would really get on my nerves, and I'd be driving something like a Chaffee. Although I'm planning on going down for a Chaffee line soon, actually. So now let's see if we can poke our head around this corner and get some kills. Oh, we ricocheted of a gun mantle of that T54 E1. As you could see, it just hit the side of his gun mantle and bounced. What a shame. Actually, the turret of the T54 E1 isn't all that well armored, I believe, so we should be able to penetrate him. Yeah, there we go. 400 something what damage, I didn't quite remember. Anyway, one thing that's pretty difficult for me to do on this corner here is I always have to keep my front facing directly to my enemies, because otherwise that will decrease the slope of my pike nose, as you can see, and then that will decrease the amount of ricochets I get as well. So you always have to be facing enemies head on. That's pretty difficult in situations like this, actually, because you kind of instinctively drive around this corner with your right flank turned towards the enemies. And you know, in most tanks it's clever angling your armor, but in the IS-7, for example, it isn't, because the pike nose angles your armor for you. You just have to face the enemies head on. So we can't get any clear shots at that T54, or let's see who else is up there, STI. So I'm getting quite a few penetrations here, mostly through the lower glaciers, because you see, when I drive over this kind of slope here, then that decreases the sloping on my lower glaciers, so you have to be careful about that too. I'd be really thankful that my driver wasn't hit yet. Although the driver usually only gets killed when the hit goes into the center of the lower glaciers. So let's see if we can get a penetrating hit through the rear side armor of that IS-7. No, we can't. That's what I mean. The side armor of IS-7 can be pretty troll in places. So there's an STI at low health there. Aim for its upper hatch, and bam! First kill. And yeah, now there's only an IS-8 the IS-7, and I think that T-54 is also defending this corner still. So we go for the cheek, for the left cheek of the IS-7's armor and penetrate. Just there you can see why you should always be facing your enemies head on in the IS-7. Just there he wasn't facing me head on, he was angled, and I could easily penetrate his cheek there. However, I bounced of that cheek this time. Was a pretty tricky angle too. So that T-54 there, I'm not quite happy with him being there, but in order to conquer this corner I have to go there. So lower glaciers, we bounced. If that had penetrated, we would have easily knocked out the driver of that IS-7 there. So I'm going to go round his side and attack him from the side and rear. So that's for you, Mr. IS-7, second kill. And I'm going to try to ram this IS-8 to death now, because we are pretty heavy and pretty speedy, especially going downhill. However, he gets the hint and runs away, so I drive down and finish him off. Third kill. So we helped that VK there, although he may be angry with us because we kind of stole his kill. But, you know, I like getting kills, as anybody does. And I believe we hit that T-30 there, but maybe we ricocheted off his turret, I'm not sure. We had no eyes on target anymore there. So there's an SU-122-54 there. I really like that tank, I want to get it sometime, I want to go down that tank line soon, sometime, because I especially love that Tier 10 tank of that line. That's the Object 263, I really adore that tank. And I think that Object 22, no, that SU-122 54 is pretty nice too. So the STI is going into the offensive. First we're going to see if we can get another shot at that SU-122-54, but it doesn't look very positive. So I'm going to follow that STI into full attack. I've only got 6 shots left. That's one thing I should maybe point out. The ammo capacity on the IS-7 isn't all that amazing. So yeah, you can, if you fire frequently, you can run out of ammo in some games. So yeah, that's something you should bear in mind. So where have you gone, Mr. SU-122-54? I will get you. He isn't up here, it seems. I'm on very low health, and going over this ridge line here again will expose my low glacier, so I was pretty careful about doing that. However, the SU isn't here, so he'd be probably somewhere between these rocks here. So I think he might be at the base hiding in those houses there. However, he spotted behind me, so I turn round. In this tank, in situations like this where it has to move quickly, this tank actually can. Like, we're accelerating pretty quickly here. And the STI finishes off the SU. But let's see if we can still get a shot into the side of Object 268. Yes, we can. However, he's now aiming at us, so we quickly draw back, and the STI rams him. And he's killed by the E100, I believe. So, yeah, again, we won the game. And I won't show you the after-game stats of this one here, because always going for the after-game stats is a bit boring for you, I guess. But I think we did best of the whole team in this game. So, yeah, next one coming up. So in the last game for today, we're defending Erlenberg, and it's a very nice matchmaking. There are only 2 tier 10 tanks in each team, me being one of them, and I'm sharing this honor with E100. In the enemy team, there are medium tanks for tier 10s, E50M and a Leopard 1. And I've headed out for the right flank because the IS-7, I reckoned, kind of would do better on this flank than on the left flank, because the left flank is more like the snipey flank. And, oh, there's a Chaffee scouted there. Let's see, can we get him? Oh, no, we can't. Okay, but there's a Yak Panther 2 with a side to us. Bam! 555. That's a very nice number, 555. Yeah, so quite a lot of damage there, and there's a WZ. Let's see, can we hit him? No eyes on target. Okay, a Lorraine, let's say. Okay, sniping with this 130mm gun with 0.4 accuracy isn't the most intelligent thing to do in the world, but you know, I just couldn't withstand the temptation of all those medium tanks and tank destroyers with their side turned towards me. So yeah, obviously I missed that Lorraine. I know I can't see any of them anymore either. Ah, no, there the Lorraine is again. So yeah, an E50M is coming up here, and he's more important than the Lorraine, so I'm gonna go for him. And anyway, he's easier to hit for me. So no support spotted yet. However, I reckon that we're gonna be snipers back there somewhere. So yeah, I've been spotted. My sixth sense kicks in. Obviously, I've been spotted. I'm only 50 meters away from him. And yeah, there's the support. Somebody hit me. I'm not sure who, but thank God he ricocheted. And without scoping, we hit him in the hull. And yeah, Vic's gun has easily got enough penetration to penetrate the upper hull of E50. And we ram him, do quite a lot of damage, penetrate him as well. And let's see, can we kill him? He goes round us, tries to carousel us. I go backwards. Don't try to turn round, because otherwise snipers further back might be able to hit me in the rear or side. And he can get one shot into us, but then we finish him off, and that's our first kill. And the first kill of the game as well. Okay, the T50-2 was killed in our team, but the first enemy kill in this team, in this game. And there's a Tiger 2 spotted to our left, but so far there's nothing further here. There's a Carnarvon spotted back there. Kill Candy driving him. Nice name, by the way, Kill Candy. Yeah, so let's see if we can take him out. Last time he was spotted a bit to our right, down here. However, he's probably moved because he kind of knows that we're coming for him now. He's probably trying to run away. Yep, he isn't here anymore. So let's see where he is. Probably somewhere back here. Ah, there he is. Carnarvon. He's down on just short of 1,300 health. So let's see if we can decimate that a bit more. What? We ricocheted off the side of a tier 8 heavy tank? What's going on? Oh my god, that's pure RNG. Although I think our shot hit beneath his hull. Like, you know, because there's a bit of ground clearance between the bottom of his hull and the ground. So I think our shot went between the bottom of his hull and the ground. So we go for his turret ring. Don't want to have a second ricochet. And he actually penetrated our side, I think. So he's carouseling us, and let's see who killed him. The IS-3 did. So yeah, we came lucky with that. And the gun depression when you turn the turret round to the rear isn't all that great. So obviously I don't want to, go into battle with my rear first. So I turn round and head for that Tiger 2 there. And there's that Yak Panther that we hit right at the start of this game. So, don't caring all that much about driving over rubble and so on now, because there isn't any RT in the game anyway. Tiger 2's dead. Let's see if we can go for the WZ, although there's quite a cluster of our team tanks around him, so probably won't be even able to secure that kill. But there are quite a few guys on the right flank, or our left flank, but the right flank from view of the map. And then let's see if we can go up ahead and kill some of them. There's only a Leopard 1 left for tier 10 tanks in the enemy team. We killed the E50M. And yeah, then there's an IS-8 T30. T30 is quite a dangerous tank actually. An Indian Panzer and a T44 left. So I love killing Leopard 1s. I mean, I love the tank, I think it's really good, but if you spot one and he's standing still, it's just so amazing to kill them because they have got no armor and you just 100% for sure know that your shot's gonna go through. I just love that feeling. You don't have to look for weak spots, you don't even have to aim, you just shoot in his general direction and you know you're gonna do quite a high damaging hit. So he's coming round, didn't reckon with me, and we get him, second kill. Okay, there'll be only 2 tier 8 medium tanks left, not all that big a threat. That Indian Panzer's coming round, he's on fire. Doesn't look like he's all too eager to use a fire extinguisher there. Oh yeah, the damage is eating, and he's extinguished now. But we kill him. Okay, that's our third kill. And there's the T-44. Can we snipe him with this 130mm gun with 0.4 accuracy? No, we can't. So I'm going to try to go in close, but we probably won't do it. We probably won't get him anymore because, yeah, there you go. I hope I have other tanks from my team clustering around him, and that's fine. We got 3 kills. That's fair. So let's have a quick look at the after game stats, and then it's conclusion time again. Yeah, we got 40,667 credits and 870 experience from that game. That 870 experience was not doubled and without premium accounts, so that's pretty nice. And we also walked away with a sniper medal and a sharpshooter medal, so that's nice. We spotted the Carnarvon, enabled spotting damage to the Carnarvon and the IS-8, critted the Leopard and the Carnarvon, and hit the Jagdpanther, Indian Panzer, the Carnarvon we hit 3 times, the Leopard once, and the E-50M 4 times. Okay, and we killed 3 enemies. So it won't come to a surprise to you that we did the most damage of the whole team and got the most experience. Just with a short lead on the IS-8, who came second with. Now he dealt quite a lot of damage too. He got 850 XP, we got 870, and we did quite a lot of damage, killed 3 tanks, so that's nice. And look at the experience scores of the enemies. Oh my god, that's really bad. None of them got more than 300 experience. That's a real bad team. So we had an easy win there, and only 3 of our tanks died, and they were all YOLO scouts. So that was a nice game for us. Not such a nice game for those guys here, but we won, so I shouldn't complain. So the IS-7, what do I think of it? I like the tank. I think it's a very good tank. I don't like it as much as the IS-4, to be totally honest, although I think it might be better than the IS-4. That's personally I've not quite decided yet which of the tanks I think is better, but I must admit I like the IS-4 more. Just, I don't know, but I like it more. However, this tank is very nice. It's got great potential. It's got great frontal armor. Not a lot of weak spots. Actually, no real frontal weak spots. Well, okay, the lower glaciers is kind of a weak spot, but except for that, this tank from the front is extremely tough to penetrate if you keep your pike nose facing towards the enemy, that is. And yeah, from the rear, if you shoot at the rear of the turret, it's pretty easy to penetrate, but rear armor is crap on nearly any tank, and the gun is amazing. I mean, the alpha damage of this gun is really good, and well, it's just your standard Russian gun. If you've come down the Russian heavy tank line, you'll know what's waiting for you at the end. It's just the same as with the IS basically, and the IS-8, the IS-3, all those guns, they're very, very similar, and this gun fits in perfectly, and it's a very, very nice gun, and it's a very nice tank too, and I can definitely recommend it for all you guys who like kind of quick heavy tanks, and if you're more looking for a lumbering, heavily armored beast, go more you should maybe go for the E100 or something like that, or maybe even the Mouse. But if you like more kind of tactical gameplay and so on, the IS-7 is definitely the right tank for you, and the line leading up to it is amazing too. If we just quickly have a look at the line, the KH-1S is a downright overpowered, amazing tank. The same with the IS. I wouldn't say it's overpowered, but it's real good fun. I had one of my best times ever in the IS. It's really good. The IS-3 I've never played yet, but I believe it's very, very good too. I've unlocked it on my account as well. A lot of people even argue that it's the best tank in the game. It's really good. The IS-8, well, I've got very mixed feelings about the IS-8, but a lot of people say that IS-8 is great too. Got no armor, but it's still a nice tank. And then you get the IS-7, which definitely is a good tank too. So I can really recommend this line. It's a very nice tank. Although, as I said, I don't like it as much as the IS-4, but it might be better than it. So, for all you guys heading down that tank line, you've definitely got something to look forward to once you hit tier 10. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you out. If it did, consider giving it a like, follow me on Facebook, and maybe even subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching anyway, and I hope I'll see you in one of my next videos. Till then, and bye bye.